We begin tonight from the northeast, where 5 officers of the Nigerian Air Force lost their lives in a helicopter crash in the course of duty. A statement by the Air Force spokesperson, Air Commodore Ibukule Daramola, confirmed that the helicopter crashed while providing close air support to troops of 145 Battalion in Borno State. The statement adds that the fallen heroes paid the supreme sacrifice in the service of their fatherland, for which the Nigerian Air Force and indeed the entire nation owes them an unending debt of gratitude. The Air Force is also seeking the continuous support and understanding of Nigerians as they continue to strive to ensure the security of the country. And the President has sent a condolence message to the Nigerian Air Force over the death of 5 of its officers. In his message, President Buhari says it was sad that the fine officers and men lost their lives in the bid to guarantee the safety and protection of their countrymen. The President said rather than dampen the morale of troops fighting insurgency in the northeast, the unfortunate developments would rather bolster their resolve to completely eliminate all evildoers within the shortest possible time. The President also condoles with the families and relations of the dead, describing the officers as heroes who paid the supreme price for peace to reign in the country. We're staying with security, but this time in Zamfara state, where the state governor has given the assurance that the activities of armed bandits will not affect the conduct of the 2019 elections in the state. Governor Abdulaziz Yari gave this assurance after a meeting with President Buhari at the State House in Abuja today. The governor also offered to accept the declaration of a state of emergency if that will ensure the restoration of peace and security in Zamfara.
Share with the president, there's instruction given by the president that any policeman who spent more than 3 years in the state should be transferred. Unfortunately, when those who are transferred, they are not replaced. So out of 230 districts or 147 elective wards, which is height of over more than 20,000 people exist, it's only in 23 that we have the outforce of police. So you can understand a number of places where there's no presence of security. And these people, they're aware. And that's at the areas that they hit. Wherever there's a police or there's a security present, hardly for them to get there. Which I explained to the president that we need the attention of IG so that the number that were reduced in the name of transfer, that should be replaced so that at least we can have the presence of security agencies in this place where they exist before, so that I think the opportunity getting by those bandits can reduce to a minimum.
How is that going to affect election in the state? Is it likely affecting the election?
No, it's not going to.
Even take place?
Absolutely. Look, you see, the people sometimes exaggerate issues. As I told you that there's no even a place where this place is occupied by these people, where people cannot move or cannot go. These people, they live in the forest, they come and hit and go back. We're there because life is there. If there's no life there, what is the essence of leadership? So therefore, I did not make it out of politics. I'm serious about it. Because the way some other people are talking about it politically, I didn't look at it. I never take this matter. Since my inception, I never deal with it. And I never look at the insecurity as a political nation something. But I look at it as criminality, and I approach it in the way that can be solved. So therefore, some other politicians are yearning for about 3 years ago. Put the state of emergency. So well, I said, if the state of emergency will solve the problem, here it is already.
The security situation in some northeast states in the country is one that has reached an alarming level, and the governors of the affected states have cried out over the problem. This was not helped by the alleged abscondment by police officers deployed to Borno State, a claim the Nigeria police refutes. In this next report, our correspondent, Orelu Ashinibare, examines security challenges faced by the region and the promises made by security agencies to tackle the menace.
How long has this writing been on the wall? For some time now, governors facing security challenges in the northeast have been lamenting the worsening situations in their states, with bandits, cattle rustlers, and insurgents running riot.
Problem, most of it, from my experience, is within us. Because these people that are doing this problem are creating this menace, One, they are all human.
These marauders influxed into Sokoto State through the borders that we have with Zamfara, came to Tabandi village at midnight and began to shoot, kill, and maim people.
This fight is a collective one that affects all of us. We all have stakes in the peace and stability of Borno, and this is why we used to hold an extraordinary security meeting.
The federal government provided support in the form of military and police protection, and the top brass in each agency assured that the threats will be quashed.
We will continue to operate along with other security agencies that have been charged with the responsibility of securing our country.
That the Nigerian Air Force will work very, very closely with all security agencies in Sokoto, Zamfara, and other parts of the country where we are conducting operations.
There is no doubt that the current security situation requires more efforts, commitment, and dedication to sustain the level of peace and tranquility that has been achieved by the Nigerian Police Force throughout the length and breadth of this country.
The arrest of some bandits and blowing up of hideouts of insurgents are evidence of progress. But how much of this has achieved the desired results? Because no sooner than it seems the situation is resolved, new cases spring out from nowhere and the process starts all over again. The rumor of police officers absconding from Borno State did nothing to improve the image of the police. However, this was promptly debunked by the public relations officer of the force.
And this report is restricted to Emperor's the First, and we have equally let Nigeria know that they should disregard the report.
With the 2019 general elections fast approaching, what many would love to see is most likely how the federal government contains the threats in the Northeast to avoid any disruptions to a democracy finding its feet. Orolu Ashonibare, Channels Television News.
Joining us now to discuss the recent developments in Nigeria's security is retired Brigadier General Olusegun Ajano. You're welcome to the news at 10.
You're welcome.
The Air Force has helped the Army to win a number of victories because of the support that they provide for the troops on the ground. Could the recent helicopter crash dampen the morale of the soldiers in any way?
I don't hear the question again.
Oh, sorry. The Air Force has helped the military by providing some air support, to the troops on the ground.
Yeah.
The recent helicopter crash, which happened because they were doing what they were doing, which is providing support.
Yes.
Could that in any way contribute to dampening the morale of troops on the ground?
Definitely. Any setback in a combat situation dampens morale, because the part the Air Force was playing is not something that can be substituted immediately. That would definitely want to give the troops a bit of a setback. But that notwithstanding, I would have thought that in that type of combat situation, we would have had some form of artillery fire. Artillery fire is, in fact, a little more distant from the front. And definitely they would have tried to keep the head of the enemy down. Now, the Air Force coming into strafe and combat the rebels was probably done to keep them on the run. Those of them who want to stay to fight against our troops would definitely scatter with the bombardment of the Air Force. I do not know what could have caused the mishap, but definitely with the Air Force helicopter crashing, it will definitely make the movement of the fighting troops a little more difficult.
Now, recently, some of the state governors, especially in the north, are complaining that, there's a lot of insecurity going on there. There's an increase in crime. There's an increase in insecurity in their states. We saw the Zamfara state governor pay a visit to President Buhari to discuss the insecurity in his own state. Is it worrying that this is happening now, especially as it's coming a few weeks to the elections? And then it's coming at a time when, we should have some respite from all of the insecurity challenges going on in the country.
A lot of insecurity problems are coming now, are coming to the surface, largely because of the fact that, we have had a number of them that were not as serious as they have now shown. For example, in Zamfara State, I think what started in that area, that general area, had been cattle rustling, and it has been going on for a very long time. Now, those who are responsible for this cattle rustling might have now decided that they want to upgrade their attack, getting armed, sacking villages, and then collecting their properties and the cattle and so on and so forth. Whether it is deliberate on the part of those who are doing this to try and confuse the government or something like that because we are close to election, I'm not too sure. But these are things that had been there. They are not just starting. They had been there, but it appears as if they are occurring now on a higher scale. I'm sure simultaneously with this problem in Zamfara State, you have kidnapping, you have this, you have that. A number of things had been going on before. But I believe that once they surface like this, and the government has taken action, because I've seen that the Air Force, in fact, mobilized to Zamfara State to really combat the people that are responsible for this.
So what's happening in Zamfara and in the other states now where we're having these new challenges? Are they as a result of the insurgency, or this is, a different set of challenges we're facing?
No, insurgency is different from what is happening in Zamfara and the other areas. It started like a normal stealing, people going about trying to deprive people of their properties. But maybe because they've done it for a very long time and it appears as if they still not have been checked effectively. It has now assumed a crisis level to the extent that some of them are really armed and they're sacking villages and so on and so forth. My feeling really is that there are human problems, poverty-driven. If you're poor, you can go to any length. And then if you get involved in criminal activities and the law doesn't seem to catch up with you readily, then you think you have now chosen a line of vocation, which you think you can profit from. I think this is what has happened. I don't think it is instigated by politics or anything. I'm not too sure. But definitely, we have the intelligence services who probably want to trace how these people came about and what they think they're trying to do. They will certainly, the intelligence or something will certainly want to answer to that. In the east part of the country, the northeast, the insurgency is clear. At first, I was thinking that what they were trying to do was just to kill and kill and kill and kill. But apparently from the recent developments, it looks like what they want to do is to take territory and declare an area a sort of Islamic state or something like that. But I believe the Nigerian armed forces will be up to it to check this thing in the board.
Yeah, I think they are. I think they are indeed. Yeah. Thank you so much, Brigadier General Olusegun Ajano, retired Brigadier General. Thank you for joining us on the News at 10.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure having you here.